Definitions do matter. Without a definition limiting the meaning of all testing that requires the use of animals, the phrase is all-inclusive, from testing Viagra to testing a heartworm's treatment on animals. This and the lack of definition of the word ban is a major flaw in my opponent's arguments. The premise of my opponent's argument is that all testing is bad because testing can be painful to animals that are tested on. This is a bad standard to take because it wrongly compares a limited amount of mistreatment against the entirety of the process, and there are definite harms that come out of this ban. Products as mundane as dog foods, insect killers, and flea medicines that make life more tolerable for animals would be affected just as much as more critical products such as diabetes medicines and chemotherapy would be affected by the ban and subsequent lack of testing. This either results in these products going untested until after they were sold to the masses and see the casualties, or they're no longer produced at all and the casualties start piling up. I have proven why some products need to be tested on animals. I recognize that you didn't talk about them. That is the part that isn't relevant. You should have acknowledged them, and therefore the neg wins the round. Just because you chose not to talk about them doesn't mean they don't exist. They need to be taken account for. Her response to the fact that not all animal testing results in pain is bizarre. She misquotes me and then says that I don't make any sense, and then she says that companies don't mean to cause pain but inadvertently they do, which is non-responsive at best to anything that I said. My fact, which was cited to the USDA, which is not Wikipedia, said that 61% of animal testing does not cause the animal to suffer pain. That is the testing, that is testing that in her world should be fine because it doesn't cause pain and only painful testing is ethically a problem. So we see the problems that this standard brings to us because 61% isn't painful and would still be banned. That's why definitions are so crucial. This standard has been one that has been the cause of confusion and should be voted down because it doesn't allow beneficial and non-painful testing to occur. Per my philosophy of utilitarianism, recognize that when flea and tick treatments are tested on 100 dogs, it saves the life and guarantees a more comfortable living for hundreds of thousands of animals. Finally, even if cadavers are better to look at the anatomy of the entire human body, internal organs are often similar, and surgery in general can be tested. Furthermore, this once again ignores that vets should probably test on animals like ferrets before removing the kidney of a ferret in surgery. This testing of 1 or 2 ferrets could save the lives of countless others and should be preferred. Woven through my rebuttal, I have already illustrated that there are lots of ways that animals benefit from animal testing, and that this is a unique reason to vote down the resolution. Voting for an undefined resolution is using a hammer where a needle is needed, and my opponent has provided no reason why regulation can't solve for all of the problems she has presented, and that is another reason why she should be voted down. There is no reason for an absolute ban. Furthermore, we are first and foremost responsible to our own people, and the 8th Amendment doesn't prevent people from becoming poor, and has a terrible history of safeguarding the rights of people whom society wanted to ostracize. I have a problem with Americans making the poor Americans into test subjects for the rich ones, and I have no difficulty seeing it happen. Vote her down because she drops the argument, and therefore we have to consider it as a definite possibility that we should safeguard against. Finally, yes, my other speech went over, but it was under 5:30, which is the line of qualification. If you want to stop the speech at 5 minutes, I understand. Ultimately, because upholding the resolve as my opponent has presented it would distinctly harm animals of the world, and because we have a duty to not prevent the subjugation of the poor of our world, we would deny the resolution and say that we should not ban all testing that requires the use of animals.